What began as a relaxing work trip quickly turns into Laura's worst nightmare. Laura, a well-known journalist, has recently returned to work after suffering deep trauma. One of her trusted sources died shortly after exposing a major scandal through her reporting. Her boss insists she take more time off, but Laura refuses. When her boss continues to pressure her, she finally gives in and accepts an invitation from Richard Bulmer, husband of Ann Bulmer, a billionaire battling advanced leukemia. Laura plans to write an article about Ann's upcoming charity gala for cancer awareness, which will gather many influential figures. Though her boss disapproves, Laura insists that the trip will let her rest and work at the same time. The following day, Laura and several other guests board a luxurious yacht bound for Norway. While enjoying the warm welcome, she meets Dr. Mehta, Ann's personal physician and Richard's old friend. Among the guests, she also runs into her ex-boyfriend Ben Howard, a journalist who had been calling her repeatedly since learning she'd be attending the event. After the introductions, everyone is assigned their own cabin, and Laura receives cabin No. 8. As the yacht departs, she settles in, trying to relax. But she soon notices something strange, cigarette butts falling from the neighboring cabin, cabin 10. Thinking little of it, she picks them up and throws them away. Later, Richard gathers everyone for a toast to welcome them aboard. He explains that Ann isn't feeling well and will meet them the following day. He also introduces Danny, a famous rock singer and close friend of Ann's, who's been invited to support the cause. That night, as Laura heads to dinner, she spots Ben with another woman. Nervous, she hides in cabin 10, only to come face to face with a woman inside. Embarrassed, Laura apologizes and leaves immediately. During the evening, Ann sends for her. Guided by Sigrid, the head of security, Laura visits Ann in the library. Ann warmly praises Laura's work, saying her articles give a voice to those who have none, which is why she invited her. They sit down, and Ann hands Laura her speech for the gala, asking for her opinion. Laura is stunned, and intends to donate her entire fortune to charity. After a short conversation, Ann hides the speech inside a book and tells Laura they'll talk more the next day. On her way back, Laura meets Ben again. After some playful flirting, she spends the night with him. Later, she wakes up from a nightmare and suddenly hears a loud argument outside. Rushing to the balcony, she sees someone fall overboard from cabin 10. There's also a splash of blood. Shocked, she sounds the alarm, and the crew launches a rescue protocol. When the search turns up nothing, Laura is questioned. She insists she saw a woman fall from cabin 10, but to her surprise, the captain says no one was staying there. The guest assigned to that cabin had canceled at the last minute. When Laura tries to show them the bloodstain and the cigarette butts, both are gone. The crew dismisses her claims, suggesting stress or trauma are making her imagine things. They even locked cabin 10 to prevent her from entering, leaving Laura feeling completely isolated and disbelieved. The next morning, still haunted by what she saw, Laura pleads with Richard to gather the entire staff. She's certain she can recognize the woman. Richard reluctantly agrees, and Laura inspects the crew one by one, but no one matches. Everyone now believes she's unstable, her trauma resurfacing. Later, Laura visits Ann again to continue their conversation, but Ann appears weak and says she needs rest. Feeling desperate, Laura turns to Ben, hoping he'll believe her. She tells him everything and asks him to check his event photos. Among them, Laura spots the woman she saw proof. At last, she rushes to show everyone. But instead of believing her, they think she's delusional. Ben even admits he told the others about her trauma, worsening her credibility. Furious, Laura argues with Richard, who warns her not to ruin his event. Frustrated, Laura heads to the spa, trying to calm down. While showering, she sees a shadow. Someone writes a message on the fogged mirror. Terrified, she accuses everyone around her. When she demands to see the security footage, the captain explains that the cameras were turned off to protect the guests' privacy. Determined to prove she's not losing her mind, Laura sneaks into cabin 10. Searching carefully, she finds strands of hair in the bathroom, evidence that someone was indeed there. She shows it to Ben, but he still doubts her. Laura hides the evidence, planning to investigate quietly. When most of the guests go watch the whale sighting, Laura questions the service staff for clues. Dr. Mehta catches her snooping and calmly tells her to enjoy the peace while it lasts. Later, in her room, Laura finds a shirt button. a sign that someone's been inside. Suddenly, she's shoved into the pool, the cover locking above her. Guests spot her struggling and save her just in time. Yet again, nobody believes she was attacked. Worse, her jacket, where she'd hidden the hair evidence, has been washed, destroying her only proof. Ben confesses he told the others about the hair to stop them calling her crazy. Betrayed, Laura explodes. She can't trust anyone anymore. That night, tensions aboard the yacht continue to rise. Danny, the rock star, grows annoyed by the constant drama surrounding Laura and announces he's leaving after the event. The other guests begin whispering about how unstable Laura seems, calling her crazy behind her back. Later, while she's trying to calm herself and think of a plan to prove her innocence, Laura hears a knock at her cabin door. When she opens it, she's shocked. It's the same woman she saw fall from cabin 10. Without hesitation, Laura chases after her through the corridors and down to the lower deck. There, the mysterious woman ambushes her, begging Laura to drop the matter and stop investigating, warning that if she doesn't, her life will be in danger. In the middle of the argument, the woman's wig slips off, and Laura freezes when she realizes it's Anne, before she can react, and pushes her hard, knocking her unconscious. Hours later, Laura wakes up locked inside a storage room. No matter how much she screams or bangs on the door, no one comes to help. While trapped, she begins piecing things together. Something doesn't add up. She's convinced the woman who attacked her isn't in at all. Moments later, the woman returns. Laura demands to know who she really is. Finally, the woman confesses. Her name is Carrie, and she was hired by Richard Bulmer to impersonate his wife, and Richard had discovered that and planned to donate her entire fortune to charity, cutting him out completely. To stop that, he devised a plan. Carrie would take Anne's place. Carrie reveals that when it found out about the scheme, Richard had her thrown overboard. That's the body Laura saw fall from cabin 10. Carrie is terrified that murder wasn't part of the deal, and now she fears for her own life and her family's safety. Horrified, Laura promises to help Carrie. She warns her that as soon as she signs the documents transferring Anne's fortune, Richard will kill her too. Carrie doesn't respond, too scared to act, and locks Laura up again before anyone notices she's missing. Meanwhile, Richard and Dr. Mehta become aware that Laura is gone. To keep Ben from asking questions, they tell everyone that Laura is unwell and receiving medical treatment. Secretly, Richard orders the captain and Dr. Mehta to find Laura and take care of her permanently. Carrie overhears their conversation and sneaks off to warn Laura. She tells her that she's in serious danger and that Richard plans to eliminate her after the charity gala. Laura begs Carrie to go to the police, but Carrie refuses. She's terrified of what Richard might do to her family. Instead, she tells Laura to use the chaos of the gala to escape when everyone leaves the yacht. When the guests disembark for the big event, Laura seizes her chance. She sneaks out of her confinement and searches the yacht. Inside the library, she finds Anne's original speech hidden inside a book, the same one from their first meeting. Clutching it tightly, Laura tries to contact the Coast Guard, but before she can, Dr. Mehta and the captain catch her. A struggle breaks out, and just as they're about to inject her with something lethal, Ben suddenly appears and tries to save her. But the doctor stabs him instead. Ben collapses and dies in Laura's arms. Devastated, Laura fights for her life and manages to escape by jumping into the freezing sea. She swims through the dark waters toward the shore, where the charity gala is being held. Exhausted but determined, she reaches the venue and finds Sigrid, the head of security. Laura explains everything: Richard's plan, Anne's true intentions, and the murder. Sigrid, realizing the truth, agrees to help her. Inside the grand gala, Richard proudly gives his speech, smiling as the supposed and sits beside him, Carrie, terrified but pretending. Just as he's about to finalize the paperwork making him heir to Anne's fortune, Laura bursts in. With Sigrid's support, she stops the event and reads Anne's real speech aloud, the one declaring that all her money would go to cancer research. The crowd erupts in confusion and shock. Enraged, Richard grabs Carrie and drags her outside. He yells at her for betraying him and tries to strangle her. Laura and Sigrid rush after them. Sigrid fires a shot, hitting Richard, and Laura finishes the fight by striking him, ending his life for good. Police sirens echo as officers swarm the area. Carrie collapses in tears, finally free from Richard's control. Sometime later, Laura is back at work. She writes an article about Anne's massive donation, which is now fully funding cancer research, just as Anne had wished. Laura chooses not to reveal the horrors that took place on the yacht, wanting Anne's legacy to be remembered for her kindness, not the tragedy. As for Carrie, she's cleared of major charges, though her name remains stained by her involvement. She starts rebuilding her life with her daughter and stays in contact with Laura, grateful for her help. And with that, this story, filled with mystery, deception, and redemption, comes to a close. If you enjoyed this movie explanation, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below.